Hello, my name's RJ Bayley. I'm the voiceover chap and writer for Popcorn Horror, and this is the second video in our Disability in Horror month. It can be difficult being a film talker-abouter when looking back at older films that deal with attitudes towards mental illness and trying to assess how they treat it. Take writer Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, for example, or as I used to call it, The Dream Warriors. There's no "the" in there though, it's just Dream Warriors. I mean, we better had a look at that film. It's what this video is about. The film is largely set in a psychiatric hospital for youths, and our protagonists, apart from a returning Heather Langenkamp as Nancy, are said youths. There's Kristin, a self-medicator and suspected self-harmer, Philip, a habitual sleepwalker, Kincaid, problematically violent, Will, who's in a wheelchair after throwing himself from a building, and Taryn, a drug addict in recovery, and Joey, who is mute. Now, clearly, the way the youths are treated is draconian and sometimes barbaric, but the question is, how draconian? It's hard to know how normal the running of this facility was for 1987 without having been there or having reliable resources to hand. No one is suggesting that the depicted sexual harassment of a patient would have been seen as fine in 1987, but how about the general treatment and ordering around of the youths, the demanded obedience? It was nearly the 1990s, you might say, so clearly this is meant to be a very bad depiction of a psychiatric hospital. But think again, my friends. Attitudes surrounding mental abnormalities, such as my own, depression, are still struggling to be understood by modern society. It's only in the last 5 years or so that I've seen a concerted effort by sections of society to better appreciate and understand mental disorders. What we can be sure about, however, is that Craven, who intended this to be the last Elm Street film, turns Freddy into the avatar of mental disorders. This is most obvious from the memorable scene in which Freddy uses Philip's tendons as puppet strings and manipulates him into taking a dive from a bell tower for all his co-patients to see his apparent suicide. Not unlike Bride of Frankenstein, however, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 does depict its disabilities in a positive light as well. Whereas Bride showed disability to be an unwitting source of compassion, Nightmare 3 shows it to be a source of strength. As a plan is made to take on Freddy within the dreams, Nancy explains her belief that the Dream Warriors can vanquish Krueger. She says that these kids are demonstrably survivors. Survivors of great mental duress, and as such have shown the ability to draw on great mental strength to still be here today. I can see where Nancy is coming from. My depression has made me so incredibly low that I felt I couldn't have experienced very much worse from the mental perspective. I've felt my psychological skin thicken, and at times I feel like I've become emotionally bulletproof. In a way, therefore, there's no one with more emotional armor than the youths of the psychiatric hospital to take on Freddy in the mental battleground of the dream world. And, as the film bears out, she's right. My name's RJ Bayley, and if you want to check out more of my work or get a free copy of my vampire audiobook that the publisher's giving away, just head over to RJ Bayley Voice Artist on Facebook, follow me on Twitter at RJ Bayley, and check out www.rjbayley.com. If you like what we here at Popcorn Horror do and want to support indie horror content, then click subscribe down below or visit popcornhorror.com.